Hello everyone, welcome back to Painting Crafty. And if you're looking for a sweet summertime art project, these just might be it. These are super sweet. They're 4x4 pieces. I'm going to show you how I watercolored them and then added the paper collage elements to create these little mixed media pieces. Today I'm a part of a YouTube collaboration and it's all about the fruit, and I'll share that information in just a little bit. Well, grab your paper and your paint and let's take an art break. For these three pieces, I did create the sketches myself. Now I know not everyone likes to draw, so I do have a sketchbook membership. That's where I have all of the line tracers for any of the paintings I do on my channel. It makes a quick, easy process for creating things. I do the drawing and then you can trace and go ahead and paint. These particular pieces, I was going to be tracing them on watercolor paper and then mounting them to canvas, but you could easily turn them into cards as well, because once you have the image drawn, you can put it on anything you want. Once I had my items sketched, I wanted to go ahead and make a template for the collage areas that I wanted to cut out. I was going to be doing one side of the pear and the bowl. A light box is a super handy tool to do this. I can shine it through my paper and then I can lay my tracing paper over the top and create a nice little template for what I wanted to cut out. If you don't have a light box, you can always put your paper up on a window and trace your items that way. I do like to put an X where the front is of my paper in case I get them mixed up. I'm going to just take little bits of some printed book paper, some old printed book paper that I had, and I just put some glue stick on the back and I stick it onto the side that has the X. That's the front. I want the papers to go onto the front side that I traced. Once I have all the papers stuck on for those little tiny papers, and they don't have to be perfect of what I drew or how I drew the pear, I just need to get them on there and have the image completely covered. By having the drawing on the back side as well, because you can see it through, I'm just going to be able to simply take a scissors and cut around my pear shape. For the cherry bowl, I was going to be using a paper that had a directional pattern. So when I laid it down on my template, I just needed to make sure that my paper was going the direction I wanted it to in the end. To add the coloration to my paintings, I'm going to be using watercolor. I've drawn all my things on watercolor paper, so the next step is to add the watercolor. Watercolor is often the art medium I go to when I want to do a quick process. I can simply just open up one box and have a whole bunch of colors sitting right there and just have a little bit of water and I'm ready to go. When doing watercolor, you usually start with your light bright colors and then work your way darker. It's like you're basically painting the shadows. So for my very back cherries, I want those to be the darkest. I'm going to start out with a medium shade of pink and then tap into the base when my color is still wet, a little bit of a red color. Watercolor always wants to flow wherever your paper is wet, and this kind of technique I call watercolor magic. I'm just basically tapping on the colors, letting them blend naturally, and they're going to do the work for me. So my darker two cherries are in the back and the ones in the front are going to be lighter. I'm going to be making the two outside ones my most vibrant, brightest one. I'm going to be tapping in just a little bit of that neon pink in there. This set does have some neon colors in it and they work perfect to add that extra brightness and pop of color. So you can see how I'm starting light and bright, but then I'm going down just a next step of my pink and tapping it into those cherries while they're still wet, and my colors are going to naturally blend together. I have lots of art lessons on my channel of how to use watercolor, so if you're interested in learning more steps of how to create watercolor paintings, go ahead and check out some of my other videos. I have lots of information to share. To anchor my piece at the bottom, I wanted to create a tablecloth pattern. So I started with some oranges and tapped in those colors. I'm going to be adding more of a directional pattern in the end, but this is just the beginning steps. Up next, let's do a little work on the pear. I'm going to start with the center where there would be a core. I'm going to draw a line down the middle, and then I'm going to be drawing two teardrop shapes off to each side of that line to represent a seed area. To color in the seeds, I'm going to be using my Micron pen and a black ink. Micron pens are permanent once they dry, so they make the perfect tool to add a little bit of line work, and then I can still add watercolor over the top and not have to worry about it moving around. The colors I used to shade the center part of my pear is a little bit of an orangey gold color and some sienna color, which is a rusty gold color. That works perfect to add just a little bit of shading down the center and around the edges and around the seeds. For the pear, I was going to be starting with a bright shade of yellow. Again, you want to start bright and light and then work your way dark. So I'm going to be starting with this bright shade of yellow and then combining in a little bit more of orange and a little bit more of that rust colors that I had used on the center of the pear. I'm going to be tapping those colors on the outside. I want to have this paint nice and wet because I'm going to be using a little bit of salt to add some texture to this watercolor. A fun way to add some texture to your watercolor paintings is to use a little bit of table salt and just put it over the areas you want to add this little bit of texture. When it dries, it will create these little magical star little patterns and create a very interesting look. Once you have the salt on, you're going to need to set it aside and let it dry completely. And once it's dried, we can just simply brush off the salt and see those little tiny patterns. Up next is to create the blueberries, and I was going to be using a variety of shades of blue and a little bit of purple. Again, I'm starting light with my light bright colors and then painting in my shadows. The front two blueberries were going to be my lightest, brightest ones, and that very back one was going to have the deepest shadows. So I started with the front ones and then I worked my way towards the back. To help me create even more definition of having separate berries, I did one berry, let it dry, and then did another one. That way my colors weren't going to overblend and look like just one big blueberry. By having a time for those paints to dry in between adding the paint, it's going to add a little bit of separation. While I'm waiting for the blueberry to dry before I add the very back one, I'm going to start working on my leaves. For my leaves, I'm picking up about 2 different shades of green, a medium and a light. And while my colors are still wet, I'm going to tap in a little bit of the blue color as well. Because the paint is wet and I'm adding wet colors into it, it's going to do this blend on blend technique and creating its own little patterns. That's one of the really fun things about watercolor. You can get these very pretty translucent color blends. To help create the illusion of that final berry is behind the other two, I want to use darker colors. So I'm going to be tapping in shades of navy, darker shades of blue, especially where that berry touches the other two. By having that dark color centered there, it's just going to create that illusion that that berry is behind the other two. Watercolor does dry lighter, so what it looks like when it's wet won't be that way when it's dry. So you're going to be needing to add layers as your paint dries. My pear is still wet, so I can't quite brush off the salt yet, but I can go ahead and work on the leaves. I'm going to be picking up shades of green and then also tapping in some of the same rust colors that I had put on the pear. I'm going to add that to some of the leaves. When I'm doing these compositions, I often like to spread my colors around my painting. So if I have some of that rust color on the pear, I want to add it someplace else. Just like I did with the blueberry leaves, I added some of the blue into the leaves. I just think it makes a very nice composition if you can spread your colors around on your painting. Because these paintings are so small, they do dry quickly, but also by using watercolor, I only have 1 box of paint out and I have a variety of colors to choose from. So by using the watercolor, it does really make a quick process of painting these 3 paintings all together at the same time. My pear is dry enough so I can go ahead and remove the salt now. All you have to do is gently rub the surface and the salt's going to come off quite easily. This is a little bit of a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get until the very end, but it's well worth trying. It's got wonderful little star bursts of pattern underneath and it creates a beautiful texture. Easy way to add some interesting texture to your watercolor pieces is by using salt. For the pear painting, I wanted to add a tablecloth element as well. I was going to be adding it in collage paper. This time around, I don't need to use the light box since my item is already painted. I can just trace around where I want the paper element. Once I have it traced, I can just lay whatever pattern I wanted down on the front of that template, and then I'm going to create my tablecloth pattern from that. I was going to be using a directional paper for this one as well, so I just needed to place it to make sure my paper pattern ran the way I wanted it to run. So I put it on the top with a glue stick and then just turn it over, and I can see where I need to cut it out, and I cut the shape out, and then I can use the glue stick to glue it to my canvas as well. Before I attached the collage piece to the front of my pear, I took some ink and went around all the edges just to add a little extra depth to this piece. I was going to be using a glue stick to stick it on. I wanted to use a glue that wasn't so wet because I wanted the piece to make sure it was going to lay flat, and a glue stick works perfect for this. For the background of my pears, I wanted to choose a color that would be a complementary color to those rusty tones in my pear, and blue was going to be the perfect shade to use. I was using a multiple colors of blue, concentrating the darkest colors where the pears meet in the center to make it look like it was pushing back a little farther in that location. I didn't want the blue to be so prominent, so I took a little bit of burnt umber color and washed that over the top just to tone down my blues a little bit. To finish off the cherries, I glued the bowl on using the glue stick, and then I took some of the neon paint, the pink color, and I created the striping across my tablecloth. I did wash a little bit of gray in my background to create some shadows for the background. To finish the background painting for the blueberries, I washed some of the blue and some of the green randomly across the back, and I also did make some splatter marks using the dark blue colors. Now that all the painting is finished, I can go ahead and add the mixed media line work on top. Today my video is a part of a YouTube collaboration. It's the first of the month collaboration, and this month it's called Sweet Summertime Fruit. We have two hosts for this collaboration, Brenda at Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista from Krista's Crafty DIY. You're going to find the links to their channel inside of the description box, as well as a playlist of all the other videos that have been contributed by different artists and creators for this collaboration. Definitely take some time, check out their channels. I'm sure you're going to be inspired to create something fun for your summertime. The pencil I like to use as a finishing pencil, it's called the Kimberly 9XXB pencil. It is super soft, but it makes almost a soft charcoal quality line, even though it's graphite. To add little touches of white, I like to use a China marker in white. It kind of brushes on or rubs on like a color crayon. It's a softer shade of white, but adds a very pretty highlight to these mixed media pieces. For the black lines, I use my micron pen and a 01 size nib. It makes for the perfect little small black lines, and it is a permanent ink, so it's going to stay put once it's dry. I did add some black ink to all the edges of all these little pieces. I was going to be mounting them on a black colored canvas, and this was going to work really well to combine the two pieces together, the artwork and the canvas. To add even a little bit more blue to my blueberries, I have these pencils. They're called Woody Stabilio Woodies, and they are a water-soluble, almost like a water crayon. They're very chunky. They were designed for children, but adults like to use them too. They're water activated, so you can rub them on like you're using a color crayon and soften them with water, but you're still going to see some of the line work underneath. Because I'm using a variety of mixed media mediums, I need to go ahead and seal these pieces in the end. Watercolor isn't permanent, and many of these water-based elements are not either. So I like to use a spray sealer over the top. Some sort of varnish over a spray varnish works the best. That way I'm not touching the surface and reactivating any of those other mediums down below. After giving my pieces a little bit more time to dry, I decided I wanted to bump up the color in the blues. I don't have these bright, intense colors in my less expensive set of watercolors, but I do have them in more of a professional grade watercolor. I always say, buy the watercolor you can afford and just paint and experiment and learn how watercolor works. But all watercolor comes in different intensities of pigments, and your more professional grade will have a better pigmentation in your colors. And now that I have them all done, I decided I was going to mount them on these inexpensive canvases I buy at my Dollar General store. I painted them a matte finish of black, and I was going to be attaching them using this Gorilla Spray glue. Well, let's take a look at what they look like sitting in my studio. Paint and collage and summer fruit. What a fun way to take simple watercolor sketches and turn them into mixed media gems, perfect for a mini art project this summer. If you're new to my channel and you like doing art and crafts, come on over and see what I'm doing. I'd love to have more creative friends join me. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you learned something new today. If you liked this tutorial, here's a couple more you might want to check out. Well, thanks for joining me today, and hopefully you'll come back and join me again, and perhaps next time you'll create right along with me.